Alright, this is a continuation of the practice, the after-test homework for Algebra 2, Unit 3. It's number 18. Number 18 is 125 minus 27y to the third. So if you look at this, there's only two terms. We're asked to factor. So I tried to take a GCF out. There is no GCF. So if there's two terms, I got two options. Either it's a sum or difference of cubes, or it's a difference of squares. So remember, perfect cubes means something multiplies to a number 3 times, or it's the same number times itself 3 times. So this is 5 times 5 times 5, 3 times 3 times 3, y times y times y. So if we have that, we have our formula. I gave you a little acronym to remember how to do this, and it was SOAP, remember? And it was talking about the signs. Same sign, opposite sign, always positive, right? Same, opposite, always positive. And when we do this, we need to know what the a and b terms are. So the a is the cube root of 125, which is 5. And the cube root for this one is 3y. And the formula, if you remember, is a squared, a times b, b squared. So now let's go ahead and just plug all that stuff into the formula. Okay. And so we're looking at a is 5, there's b, 5 squared, 5 times a times b. Now you got to be careful on this last one, because when I square this, and watch as I clean this up and simplify it a little bit, right here is where the mistake usually occurs. It's going to be 9y squared. Okay. You have to square the 3 as well as the y. 19 says x to the fourth minus 16. Ask to factor again. Well, there's two terms this time, and they're squares, not cubes. So I do difference of squares, 1 plus, 1 minus. And then if I look at this one also reduce or factors one more time. Okay. Now remember, difference of squares only works with a difference, which means subtraction. So the second one over here with the plus sign does not factor any further. 20. 3x squared plus 3xy plus 15x plus 15y. Okay. So I got 4 terms. Before that, I should always look for a GCF, and I see one. I have a 3. So it leaves me with x squared plus xy plus 5x plus 5y. Okay. Now, once I get 4 terms, I factor by grouping. Okay, so just keep this 3 out here, and be careful. You got to keep it all completely out of everything. So I got a GCF of an x here. Oops. I don't know where that 5 came from, sorry. And then over here I got a 5. Comes out. Okay, so those 3's getting multiplied by all this stuff inside. So I'm going to finish what I'm doing in here. Okay. And then I'm looking at factoring out this. So I get x plus y times x plus 5. Okay, and then I can go ahead and just say, clean it up a little bit, is this. Number 21 says 2x plus 3 squared minus 7 times 2x plus 3 minus 30. Well, if you remember, this is where we use a substitution. And you see this thing acts like a trinomial. And it's hard to see sometimes, but that I'm going to replace with an a, and that I'm going to replace with an a. So I'm going to say a equals 2x plus 3. And what I'm going to get here is a squared minus 7a minus 30. I'll factor that and ask myself what multiplies to 30. And what adds to 7 negative? 3 times 10 does it, with the 10 being negative and the 3 positive, right? We have to add to a negative. Okay, well, I put the A's in there, so now I got to go back and put what's really there. So I'm going to go back and resubstitute the 2x plus 3 and the 2x plus 3 minus 10. So my answers are 2x plus 6 and 2x minus 7. And what I notice here is when I get done is this has a GCF. So I actually have to take that out. So it's 2 times x plus 3 and 2x minus 7. Okay. Last question, number 22. Find the quotient that they're asking us to divide. So when I write this out, look how I do this. Just to make my life a little easier, I'm going to put in a power of 1. Okay. I'm looking at 3x to the 4th plus 5x to the 3rd, sorry. (8x squared plus 15x minus 3). So remember, the goal here is to match this one and this one. So I got to multiply it by 3x squared, put it over the same power. Okay, so that would give me, so now I take this and distribute it to this, and I get 3x to the 4th plus 0x to the 3rd plus 3x, 9x squared. Okay, so I distributed this to all 3 of those. Okay. And so now I go ahead and add the opposite. Subtract everything. So those should cross off. That was my goal. 5x to the 3rd minus x squared. Bring down the next term, 15x. Now I got to make this one match that one, so I got to multiply by a 5x. I get 5x to the 3rd minus 0x squared plus 15x. Right? And then I go ahead and subtract. Okay. And this goes out, and I'm left with a negative x squared plus a 0x, and then bring down the negative 3. Just to kind of keep my rows lined up there. And then I go ahead and multiply by a negative 1. So that gives me negative x squared, negative 0. I know we don't really have a negative 0. And then minus 3. Like I said, this just kind of helped me keep my, like I said, my rows level there. And I get 0. So everything crosses off. Okay, and that's my answer right there. 3x squared plus 5x minus 1.